Okay, so I have to put a huge disclaimer on this that there's a lot of people that don't understand TDE has an amazing roster of people, not just Kendrick. It has this rapper versus this rapper and singer. We're gonna consider him an artist called S.I.R, and S.I.R released a song called Satisfaction, and he talks about relationships, but S.I.R's always been known to talk about relationships. But some background before we get into about like who S.I.R is. So we're gonna take some background information, and I'm gonna let y'all know some background information. So he is signed to TDE in 2015, 2016. He had just released a single. He's also from Inglewood, California, which I think, without a doubt, is a rare thing to go. What other labels are there in California without going TDE? TDE is known for some of the most lyrical artists, but they're not known for like people like S.I.R, which their voices carry throughout this track. Especially the guys, they're not really known. So S.I.R is definitely somebody I would listen to if I'm looking for like a TDE collab album with Dreamville, or just a TDE album itself. I think that's weird because so there's this assumption that if you're not like a top 3 artist on your label, you don't get stuff pushed out. And for S.I.R, I think that's what happens to him majority of the time because of the songs or how packed his roster is, full of like top 10 rosters to some people. I think, and he gets overlooked a few times. So Satisfaction. But this concept of love is something he talks about. Like it's without a doubt, it's definitely a weird thing to listen to constantly, but it's very true that he talks about it a lot. Not really necessarily love in itself, but love the concept. But real quick, let's see if we have any sponsors, and we'll get right into this.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Okay, so S.I.R notes a few different things throughout the song. He notes that you'll love me today and leave me tomorrow. Almost as in, we're not supposed to be doing this, but we are, just because it's love. I think just because we're in the moment and we are in love, which love by his definition is probably like a concept of emotions that can be taken away at any time. That's why he says leave me tomorrow, because he said like love isn't always going to be something that stays. I think that's the concept he tries to make in this first line. And I think that concept of love isn't necessarily a concept that the majority of people understand or think about. When they think about love, they think about romance, they think about passion. I think this is his way on revising how people think about it into his better situation and how he understands it. Because one can love a person and not guarantee that person that they're going to be with that person forever. I think that's common. I think especially in the generation following that, a lot of people don't believe it. Like almost, well, people will call it like twin flames or something like that. He talks about this is not our reality. Like this idea of this love that we are in this love that we are looking at now isn't necessarily the reality of the love that we both share. Which could be his definition of saying one-sided, but I don't think he's saying one-sided. What I think he's saying is one person is dreaming for it while another person isn't. He says, but don't worry because I know it was never possible, or we knew it was never possible, which I think is what I'm saying. It's like it's the one-sided relationship, which I think is why he says, don't leave me tomorrow, because he doesn't think this love is beneficial for everybody. I think it's beneficial for one person, and that's how one person feels better about themselves, but it's not necessarily good for the two people involved, which I think is kind of different how people don't think about love, but that's the way S.I.R explores this song. He says, though, even though I wish it could have been, I know this isn't our reality. Like, this isn't our future, and I hate that the future is coming, but that's not necessarily our reality of it, which I think sums up this song perfectly, because he says something about the birds chirping of, like, the early day of somebody just hearing the birds chirp and realizing that at some point this has to end, or this will never be forever, because every day you wake up you might hear birds chirping and you might not, which I think is his concept of saying the birds might chirp one day and they might not chirp the other, so you might love me one day and then not love me the next, which I think relationships take a lot of work for two people. But if you are really for that person, or really enjoy that person, I think you will see that it's worth putting in that effort. It's worth trying with each other. And it's so weird to listen to S.I.R talk about this, because S.I.R isn't a very vocal person on relationships, but when he talks about relationships and new songs, it really causes you to pay attention. So when S.I.R put this out, it's a 8.7 out of 10, because I like it. But I do wish it could have been a little bit longer, and we got another verse from S.I.R, because I do like when he puts a lot of verses and a lot of choruses together. They do end up tending to be longer songs, and a lot of people don't like songs that are over like 3 minutes, but I do like 3-minute songs that are longer with him. So overall, 8.7 out of 10. It's not the worst, but it could be better and it could be longer, so we'll see.